Hare Krishna. So, welcome to all the devotees on Saturday evening program today. We are discussing from 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is speaking about realizing his presence everywhere. And he is introducing, it's a start of Bhakti Yoga, where Lord Krishna is introducing his own knowledge to the benefit of all the conditioned living entities like us through the medium of Arjuna. We will go into the 11th verse. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhutesho kamosmi bharatarshava. Balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. So Lord Krishna is explaining art of seeing his energy everywhere. So he, in the previous verses, he spoke about Bijam Mam Sarvabhutana Viddipartha Sanatanaha. Although the most subtlest we understood, how it becomes very, very difficult to even understand their significance in this world because it becomes a miraculous. Yeah. We also discussed how doesn't matter how beautiful this human body might be, within a couple of days, if the soul is gone, disappeared, it completely decays and start, distributing the foul smell everywhere. So we need to understand what is most important is not this human body, but the energy within this human body, which actually energizes the entire world through its essence consciousness. As long as the soul is there, human body has relevance in this world. We also discussed soul itself doesn't have any significance if it doesn't get its energy from Krishna. So Krishna sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto matasprutir gnanam apohanam cha. Krishna sitting in each and everyone's heart as Paramatma, he gives bijam mam sarvabhutana viddipatha sanatana. He gives the seed. That seed actually energizes the entire human body. So the energy for soul comes from the super soul, the energy for the human body comes from soul. Similarly, as we go much more grosser than the soul is ego, which gives the identification, who am I? Grosser than the ego is the intelligence, which gives the discriminatory power for the human beings what to do, what not to do. Grosser than the intelligence is the mind, which actually accepts and rejects various combinations of offering that is given to us in this material world. So grosser than the mind is the five elements, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu. So it is easier to understand the presence of Earth's energy everywhere, but as we move up the ladder, it becomes very, very difficult to identify where our mind is, where our intelligence is, where our ego is. Without mind, intelligence, ego, no matter how our body might be very, very powerful, it has no significance if the mind stops working. People say, right, brain dead. Body is working fine. Blood circulation is happening, everything. Brain dead. Finished. You are living but dead. So similarly, it's very, very important to understand as we go more subtler, importance of its significance to our human body increases. That's why Krishna is trying to communicate to all of us that It's very, very important to realize His presence. Balam balavatam chaham. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of the passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to the religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas. So Lord Krishna is telling here, Balam balavatam chaham, aham, me, Balam balavatam. Whoever you see most powerful people in this world, you need to understand the power is coming from me. But I can only consider that where Kama Raga Vivarjitam, the power which doesn't have a tinge of passion. Passion, anywhere self-centered power is always dangerous. We can see most of the wars which are taking place in the entire world is due to self-centered power, where everyone wants to rule over the entire world. We can see that, even though India is placed, the neighboring countries, it's always in the danger. Yeah, you don't know who is going to attack at what time. Self-centered power is where everyone looks to, become the powerful, the country in the entire world, through whom the entire direction of how to work, how not to work. Everyone wants to see that, experience that wherein he controls the entire world. That's why Krishna says, you can actually recognize my presence wherever there is a powerful people who are having power devoid of passion and attachment. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am the kamaha. He says, I am the desire. Yeah? If you see in the previous chapters, Arjuna asked, I really don't want to do so many sinful activities in this world, but I become helpless. What is that which controls me? Kamayesha, Krodayesha, Rajoguna, Samudbhavaha, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Vidhi eva hi, Vairinam. Krishna says, Kama Yesha, Krodayesha. Kama, the desire. Yeah, the grossiest of the gross desire, the kama is, the where one gets, into the mode of exploiting others. Kama yeshaha, yeah. He says, Vidhi eva hi vairinam. These are the most sinful enemies in this entire world, powerful enemies in this entire world. And Krishna is saying, Kama osmi bharatarshava. He is saying, I am the Kama. So is he saying that he is the most sinful person in the entire world? He says, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu. Even the sex life is glorious, even the desire is glorious if it is done under the platform of dharma. For example, anything you want to do in this world, there is a dharma, there is a law that is being followed, regulation that is being followed. So, for example, a person wants to drive vehicle, he needs to take a driving license, right? So he needs to pass the driving test. He needs to learn how to drive. He needs to understand the laws of this world, which lane he needs to drive. Only once he is been understood, identified that he can drive, then he is given the license. He undergoes test. There is a particular regulation that is being followed. Shasan, that is called, right? Shasan means, the regulation. For example, Shastra is a regulation knowledge. Knowledge which actually helps us to regulate our life by which we can become happy, healthy, and holy. Shastra is the book of law. Shasan, the word comes from Shastra. Shastra is also the expansion of Shasan, wherein if the rules are not followed, punishment needs to be given. Yeah? So if a person says, I sweated whole night, day and night, I bought a BMW car, I will drive wherever I want. Then he is called a crazy person, right? So very, very important, we need to understand that the facilities in this world has been given, but there is a regulation that needs to be followed. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada keeps on saying, in this world without regulation, our human life becomes like a life of cats and dogs. He says, never give birth to people like, cats and dogs. Don't increase the populations of this world by giving birth to cats and dogs. Give birth to, human beings who are value centered, ethical centered, moral centered. Do not give birth to cats and dogs. Prabhupada heavily used to actually chastise Westerners. We are all, in terms of that, these are applicable to all of us as well. So we need to understand exploitation needs to be regulated. If it becomes beyond, then we are no more human beings, but we are animals. Exploitative, passion is dangerous to the society. So hence, for example, Lord Krishna in the scriptures is broad-minded. It gives us opportunity to utilize the resources of this world with regulation. For example, if someone needs to enjoy this world, there needs to be regulation. Unregulated enjoyment is animal life. Regulated enjoyment is human life. And that is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. From the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is teaching regulated enjoyment. Arjuna wanted to fight in the battlefield. Krishna taught him regulated fighting. You need to change your consciousness, transform your consciousness. It is not about credit and debit, it is all about Sukhe dukkhe samay krutva, labho alabho jaya jayo, tato yuddhaya yuddhasva, naivam papam mahopyasi. You need to understand the higher aspects of fighting. Arjuna was thinking he is supposed to fight for Draupadi, he is supposed to fight for his brothers, he is supposed to fight for the citizens of his country, he is supposed to fight for all the humiliation that has gone to his family, but Krishna said all these are insignificant. You need to actually establish religious principle through this fighting. Hence, you need to fight for me, not for any other reasons. So Krishna taught in Bhagavad Gita fighting which is regulated fighting. Unregulated fight cats and dogs also do. Today for simple reasons the war starts. So hence Krishna is saying Dharma viruddho bhuteshu. One aviruddho, one which is not contrary, not actually against the dharma, that kind of enjoyment is those enjoyment. Kamosmi bharatarshava. So if we are able to take advantage of resources in this world, absolutely no problems at all. So Srila Prabhupada keeps on saying in the class, I was hearing in the afternoon, you are all wealthy people in the Western world. If you are traveling in a street and if you see the skyscraper building used for the casinos, if you think how beautiful this skyscraper building, if we can keep Krishna in the center, and if we can transform it to a temple. That is Krishna conscious. If you're traveling in the street and you can see all varieties of vegetables and beautiful fresh groceries which is being sold, and if you can think, how can I utilize all these vegetables and make a beautiful offering for Krishna as a bhoga and offer it to Krishna and accept it as prasada, then it is Krishna conscious. If you are able to see all the intelligent people of the Western world who are administrative, who are beautiful, who are handsome, if you are able to see the other personalities and see that how intelligent this person is, how nice if we become husband and wife and come together and beget children who can become Krishna conscious, that marriage is Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada keeps on explaining various examples Prabhupada keeps on giving. So, enjoyment has to have responsibility. See, if you really want to take up the married life is not about having a girl and a boy roaming around as it is shown in today's Bollywood movies, right? It is all about responsibility. Enjoyment without responsibility is animal life. Simple. Female dog and male dog meet in the corner of the street. They exchange lust. They move on. It is called animal life. So today, if you see, no matter how a handsome boy and a beautiful girl, they come together for enjoyment, we see that they split because their only aim was to extract each other. That's all. So we can see that in all the Bollywood movies, all these people, actors, actresses, they come together and they split within 2-3 years because there is absolutely no accountability. There is only a tinge of enjoyment which is sitting, because of which they are just, gazing each other. Hence, it is in the material world, I said, right? Excitement it starts with, sober in the middle, frustration at the end. Excitement, it is all excitement in marriage life now, all excitement. Plan, boy and a girl plans out, we will do the marriage in Rajasthan in a big palace. All big things happens. After 2 days, it comes all about living together. And that also they have found out a secret now. They have found out that if a husband lives in a different house and if a wife lives in a different house altogether, if they come together for 2-3 hours in a day, that is a secret for married life. I was looking into the Bollywood news which was coming. One of the Bollywood, this one is saying that if they are coming together 2-3 hours in a day and a husband lives in a different house, wife lives in a different house, that is called secret for a marriage life, long-lasting marriage life. This Krishna says is animal life. Hence, it is very, very important that with marriage comes the responsibility. It is not about enjoyment. It is all about responsibility. It is more about responsibility than enjoyment in marriage life. If you are able to take care of that responsibility and say that I want to become accountable in this world and I also want to actually contribute to this world by creating progenies who are value-centered, who are moral-centered, then this country can continue as a cultural country or a cultural ambassador for this entire world. Again, if you are getting married, woman is not supposed to be the machine for progeny. That's also extreme exploitation. If the woman has been used as a storehouse for generating, then we are nothing but pigs. Pigs also generate 20, 13, one year, right? We are not pigs. Hence, Krishna clearly articulates Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. What is not contrary to the religious principles? The Manu Samhita, the law of Manu says, if you are not able to liberate your children, you cannot be a father. If you are not able to liberate citizens from the kingdom, you cannot be a king. That is the responsibility, that is a dharmic responsibility for anyone who takes, the role, such a responsible role. Hence, it's very, very important for us to understand the essence of this. Balam balavatam chaham kama raga vivarjitam dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. न चैव सात्विका भावा रजसस्तामश्चये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि नत्वा अहं तेषु ते मयि. Know that all states of being, be they are goodness, passion or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. If you see this image, this actually signifies each and every conditioned soul in this world, how he is struggling. There is an external force which is acting on each one of us. What are those external forces? It is goodness, passion and ignorance. Good, bad and ugly. Yeah? Goodness, passion and ignorance. Sometimes people misunderstand Lord Krishna as the Sattvika Purusha. There are many Dadiwalas who portray themselves as big leaders of this world. And they say, Krishna was the Punya Purusha. Krishna is clearly, conveying to all of us that he is not at all Punya Purusha, or he is not at all Rajasic Purusha or Tamasic Purusha. He is, as Sarupam Prabhu is saying, he is a Mahapurusha, he is beyond all this. There is there is a myth in this world that when Lord appears in this world, he starts behaving like an ordinary human being. And there are, for example, if you watch movie of Srinivasa Kalyana, which is coming in Telugu and also Kannada, it is shown that how Balaji appears as a normal human being. He is also subjected to the modes of material nature. We really need to understand when blood comes out of Lord, when Bhishma is shooting arrows, it is not that Lord is behaving like an ordinary human being. We need to understand when Lord performs, it is called pastime. When we perform, it is called time pass. We are under the control of time. Lord is not under the control of time. There is a difference between when Jayadratha was pouncing on Arjuna because it was sunset already, Krishna, through his, control, he actually took out the clouds from the sun and sun appeared again. So we need to understand everything in this world which is under the spell of Maya. How Maya is constituted? It is constituted through Sattva, Rajas and Tama. Sattva is called, for example, if someone is imprisoned in the jail and he says, and the jailer says, don't worry, you have been imprisoned, a jail where it is fully studded with gold. All the bars of your jail is studded with gold bars. Does it really make sense? Already you are in jail, you are prisoned. Doesn't matter whether it is a gold bar or a silver bar or an iron bar, you are already entangled, you are going to suffer. So, the prisoner is supposed to walk under 6x6 area only, he cannot have more freedom than that. So we really need to understand that doesn't matter whether we accumulate punya or we accumulate papa, we are bound to suffer in this world. So it's very, very important for us to understand that we need to go beyond sattva, rajas and tamas. Goodness, passion and ignorance are the three shackles which binds each and every living entity in this world. Hence, we need to understand, Krishna is telling here, I am in one sense everything, because goodness, passion and ignorance comes from Krishna only. But it doesn't bind Krishna. For example, the superintendent of jail is there. He is coming to the jail. Yeah? He is coming to the jail, and sometimes he sees that to engage all the prisoners, he also engages in some of the services there. The services which are done by the prisoners, services which are done by the superintendent of jail, can we say that he is also bound to the rules and regulations of the jail? No, he can just leave. It's not that he is supposed to clean. He is supposed to do all the tailoring in the jail. Prisoners are supposed to do the work. But sometimes, just to give company to the prisoners, superintendent of jail also says that, let me also motivate them, let me also do. So we really need to understand that Krishna, when he does the pastime, we need to understand, we should never ever think that Lord Krishna is ordinary human being like all of us. So, matta eveti tan vidhi, you need to understand, from me everything is coming. Natva aham teshu te mahi, I am not sitting in them, I am not controlled by sattva, I am not controlled by rajas, or I am not controlled by tamas. None of these three modes of material nature, I am actually in control. So when someone is under the this captivity, within that captivity is us, not Krishna. Lord Krishna can never be under captive. Very, very important for us to understand. Janma karma chame divyam evam eti tatpataha tyatva deham punarjanma naiti mameti swajana. That's why Krishna says in the previous chapters that janma karma chame divyam, one who understands my janma, birth, karma, activities, chame divyam. It is transcendental. It is not ordinary. Our activities are ordinary. Krishna's activities are transcendental, which is beyond three modes of material nature. Yeah? So that's why it's very, very important for us to understand that Krishna, though comes to this world, he comes to this world out of his own free will. We come to this world, we are thrown into this world because of our obligations. Krishna doesn't have any obligations. Yeah? That's why now in the next verse Krishna says, Tripur Gunamaye Bhavaye Ye Visarvam Yidam Jagat Mohitam Nabijanati Mamebhya Paramavyayam. Diluted by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Krishna is telling here that we are all puppets under the hands of three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So now Lord Krishna took birth in the Kshatriya family. He was educated in the Brahminical under the guidance of Sandipani Muni, and he went to the Gurukula. He spent years and years there, and before that he was with Nanda Maharaj, who was a Vaishya. So who is he? Is a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Brahmana? What is the caste of Krishna? He is beyond caste. He is not Brahmana, he is not Kshatriya, he is not Vaishya, and he is not Shudra. He only created the caste. For example, if the owner of the company comes to the campus, a car parking there is there for all the employees. Can you tell how can you enter into the campus? You didn't park the car in the car park. You are supposed to park the car in the car park and walk in. What time you are coming? You are supposed to come and then punch and swipe in and swipe out. 9.5 hours you are supposed to work. All these things are made for employees, not the owner. Chaturvarna maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasaha. Lord Krishna created the four varnashrama: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. These four ashrama, the four varnas, been created by Lord Krishna for cooperative, regulated way of living in this world. Krishna is not Brahmana, Krishna is not Kshatriya, Krishna is not Vaishya, Krishna is not Shudra. These are all beyond. Sometimes I had gone to, first time when I became devotee, I had gone to my hometown, and that one priest who had come last time, I don't know whether anyone would have seen him. That priest had come to our temple to see. He was sitting in our house, and I came, took bath, and I came, and he suddenly saw me in Tulsi, and he started, seeing me, and then I then went and I started chanting. Seeing me saying Krishna, he called me. Do you know Krishna? He was a Gwala. And he was telling he used to take care of all the cows. So, basically he was, trying to tell that Krishna was bound in this world. You don't need to do so much. Just last week, we had a marriage. We had gone, her Divya's cousin's marriage was there, here just in Hunsur Road, just 1 kilometer from our place. We had gone, and the girl and boy were walking. I think they were going for, they give some coconut to someone and they take blessings, right? They saw both of us, and they came and they gave the coconut, and they bowed down. And the priest next to both of them, Hare Krishna, he said. He was a Ayangari. He said, Hare Krishna. I said, Hare Krishna. Please bless them so that they can beget son like Krishna. Everyone wants to have Krishna. No one wants to have devotees of Krishna. So there is a misunderstanding no matter how much you are into spirituality in this world. No matter how much thick you put tilak. No matter how much nicely you eat, shakre pongal and puliyogara. No matter how much nicely you eat rice, sambar, and how nicely you make pious rice and cardamom and milk and everything. No matter how nicely you make, Porampolli or something, whatever, huh? Holge or whatever it is, it doesn't define you that you have understood spiritual knowledge. How many actually aspire to beget devotees of Krishna? Everyone aspires to beget Krishna. That is the problem why we are in this world. Until and unless we understand our only position is to become devotee of Krishna, we will all be happy. Otherwise, we will be frustrated in this world. So, as long as possible, we understand that there can be only one prime minister. If we start thinking that we can all become prime minister, we all will be creating a mess in this country. So, our only opportunity is to become devotee of Krishna, not Krishna. We will never ever be able to become Krishna. Krishna is the only one Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Anadihi, he is the oldest of the oldest of the oldest. He is the first seed from which all the seeds have come. He himself is seedless. So we need to understand Lord Krishna is the source of everything. We cannot become Krishna, we cannot become God. We can only become servant of God, servant of Krishna. That's why whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. That's why Krishna says, Daivihi esha gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya. Mameva ye prapadyante mayamyetam tarantite. Daivihi esha. This world of the material nature, gunamayi, consisting of these three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Mama maya duratyaya, very very duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. Three modes of material nature. Mama, this is my energy, Krishna says. Very difficult to overcome. Many people, everyone are struggling in this world. Everyone are struggling. From rich people, a person in this world, to the down, a daily wage person. Everyone are struggling. Who is not struggling in this world? Who says that I am completely liberated, I am happy, I don't really care about anything? Most rich you are, you will be looking at daily stock market. Hourly fluctuation, you will be fluctuating. The heartbeats. So no one free in this world. Everyone are, entangled in this world. Very, very important for us to understand. So what is most important? What is the definition of richness? Definition of richness is one who has a freedom. Who has a freedom? No one has a freedom. Even if he is the CEO of a big company, he is behind the investors. Investors are actually on top of him. Investors are, are controlled by, their bankers. Yeah, everyone under the control. No one is free in this world. No one is free in this world. It is impossible to have anyone in this world who is free. Even the American president, he cannot be free. Indian president, he cannot be free. Chairman, he cannot be free. No prime minister of this world or anyone, no one can be free in this world. Everyone are subjected to. Everyone are in Tihar jail only. So that's why Krishna says, Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyahi. It is impossible to overcome. But Krishna says, Mameva ye prapadyante. One who surrenders unto me, understanding your energy is very, very difficult to overcome. Maya metam tarantite. He is able to get over the difficulties and challenges of this material nature. Translation: this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond. So it's very, very important. What is the advantage of following Krishna? What is the advantage of chanting the Krishna's name? We feel that we are getting liberated slowly from the clutches of this world. What is most important to all of us is to come out of this entanglement, which is the source of all misery. Krishna says, this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature, difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered to what? Not to the material modes of nature, not to goodness, passion and ignorance. Surrender to Krishna, one who controls those energies. For example, in 2013 when Pune temple was inaugurated, yeah, it was one of the biggest temple in India, and the devotees struggled for 3-4 years to construct that big temple, and they were, the operational work that needs to be done to inaugurate the temple. It was becoming monumental. You need to go and take permission from this person, you need to go and take permission from the government bodies. There are so many bodies and no one actually does anything unless and until you heat up their hand nicely. How many hands do you heat up? If you heat one hand, another hand becomes angry. So they were going through conflicts after conflicts, and they said it is impossible. They were not giving license to inaugurate the temple. And one fine day, they got a news that the President of India is going to inaugurate the temple. It was on 23rd of February, inauguration of temple. They found on 10th of February 2013 that President of India is going to inaugurate, he is going to come all the way to Pune and inaugurate the temple. As soon as the President of India they heard President of India has accepted the honor to inaugurate, they took that invitation, went to each and every government bodies. As soon as they saw Pranab Mukherjee is going to open Pune temple, any licenses was supposed to be there. Everything was given within 2-3 minutes. Everything, all, the operations which they were going through with difficulty for months and months and months, all got cleared within 2 days. Kathwich Kondwa bypass road was filled with potholes. And they were saying, who will come to this temple? Anyone who is going to go into this road will have a nightmare of traveling because it takes hours and hours. And immediately and they were not getting the permission the government were not at all ready to actually renovate this road at all. But as soon as the President said he is going to come, within 2 days, there was the entire automated machines coming from the airport of Pune till the Pune temple, entire roads were renovated. See, this is the understanding of Daivihi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Mameva e prapadyante. If we are able to keep Krishna in the center, Mayam Yetam Tarantite, we are able to get out of all kinds of difficulties in this world. Easiest process is to chant his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Easiest process, if you are able to chant every day and develop, automatically, naturally, you see that our entanglement in this world with so many obligations and duties and all those things just goes away. Biggest challenge we have is to how to get out of the attachment. Unnecessary politics that we get entangled into the family affairs. But as soon as we take up the spiritual devotion for Krishna, surrender unto him by reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting his holy names, offering the food to him, whatever we cook, offering to him, and being with devotees, that itself becomes a platform of liberated life where we can experience happiness. So it is very, very important that we need to understand that this world, we cannot solve the problems of this world. All the entanglements of this world, it is not at all possible. If you become friend with China, other country will be enemy to us. If you become a friend with some other countries, some other country becomes enemy to us. You cannot become friendly to anyone. You can only be neutral. Why? Because everyone are running after controlling this entire world. No one wants to be controlled, everyone wants to be controlling. Hence, because of that, we need to understand everyone are entangled in this world. If the leaders are entangled, how can they liberate us? No matter whatever modernization do, whatever they, advancement they do, they cannot liberate us. They said, your phone is there, mobile comes, it will liberate you. Now mobile came, it created more entanglement, not than liberation. TV was there, they were saying you are entangled. If mobile comes, with TV comes in mobile, you are liberated. But TV came in mobile, we became more entangled. So no solution in this world can actually liberate us. Only Krishna can liberate us. Everything, good, bad and ugly things in this world can only entangle us. Only Krishna can liberate us. And that's why it's very, very important for us to surrender to Krishna. Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratkeya Mamevaye Prapadyante. We need to surrender to Krishna. Mamevaye. Krishna says, Mam, surrender unto me. So don't derive anything out that, me means Krishna within someone. Surrender unto him. Someone came to devotee, marriage, and he started saying, I am Krishna of this world. I have married 9, I am marrying 10th one now. My goal is to marry 108. He came to the marriage just in Mysore. This is crazy thing going on in this world. Please understand, until and unless we understand Bhagavad Gita from right sources, we will not be able to realize what is the position of us. Position of us is to be Padakamalayo or Dasanu, 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 Dasa, servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. That is the only position available in the spiritual world. If you want to, Allide Namamane, Illi Bande Sumane, Allide Namamane, if you really want to go to that Vaikunta, we need to understand our vacancy. If you say that I am applying for a CEO of your company, will anyone, interview us? I would like to join you. Join you as what? CEO of your company. So similarly, we need to understand, if you really want to go to Vaikunta, there is only one offer that is there for all of us, which is to become servant of the servant of Krishna. That is very, very important. Mameva ye prapadyante mayam yetam tarantite. He is the only one who surrenders to Krishna, who will be able to come out of all difficulties in this world. Hare Krishna.